This is an uncensored podcast about sex, sexuality, gender, and body stuff. Listener discretion is advised. The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are solely those of the person or persons sharing them. Some names have been changed to protect the anonymity of its participants. Hello, my friends. It is I, Drew Michael, and this is a Make Sex With Me, a podcast where sometimes we have on really, really good guests. And that is the case today. We have a very special guest, and I'm very excited to share this with you guys. Yeah. Maybe, I don't want to say it, maybe my favorite guest so far. But that doesn't include all of the regular guests that we used to have back when I had friends, because of course I love them too. They were really special, and then they left me, and now I'm all alone. But fortunately, there's been some publicists rolling into my DMs who want me to interview their clients, and this is one of those times. So let me just get the business shit out of the way, shall we? Please rate, review, subscribe. Please give us 5 stars. It really is quite easy, and we really could use it. Thank you so much. Please, if you'd like to email us at makesexwithmepodcast@gmail.com. Yeah, so there's the business. Is there any current events I need to share with you guys? No, I don't think so. But I have been quoting this next interview that I'm about to play with you, play for you. I'm going to play with you too. I've been quoting her for the last 2 months on the pod, so I think it's time. It's more than time that I shared this with you. So let me just get this shit going. Our guest this week is Susan Bratton, and she is. It says here an intimacy. I'm off to such a good start. She is an intimacy expert to millions. She's a champion and advocate for all those who desire passion their whole life long. She's a co-founder and CEO of 2 companies, Personal Life Media, Inc., a publisher of the Better Lover brand of heart-connected love-making techniques and bedroom communication skills and regenerative therapies, as well as The 20 LLC, a manufacturer of organic and botanical supplements that enhance vitality. Flow is a nitric oxide booster for better blood flow. The Desire multivitamin, multi-mineral supplements that have high-quality methylated B vitamins and libido botanicals built in. Susan is also an active and caring spokesperson for Gainswave, which we'll talk about later in the episode, and FemiWave, and the Dr. Joel Kaplan Company, 3 intimate biohacking regenerative therapies. She's a best-selling author and publisher of 44 books and programs, including Relationship Magic, Revive Her Drive, Ravish Him, The Passion Patch, Hormone Balancing, and Hot to Trot. She speaks eloquently from the stage and frequently appears on ABC, CBS, and NBC, as well as being the #1 downloaded episode guest on a myriad of podcasts, including this one. Please soak up this amazing interview with Susan Bratton. Bye-bye.
Who is this blonde sandwich-eating woman? I am Susan Bratton, intimacy expert to millions. That's my official title.
I love that.
I
That's
do too.
wonderful. So you've helped
Well,
millions of people.
yes, I've been doing this for decades. And it's interesting because my title used to be Trusted Hot Sex Advisor to Millions. And my PR firm was like, honey, we love you, but that's a little bit much. And I'm like, really? You think so?
Yeah.
Okay. And they're like, how about intimacy? That's kind of hints at sex, but it's not like right in your face. And I was like, okay, I'll do it. Yeah. Yeah, because I don't get to always do make sex with me kinds of shows. I do like menopause and men's health and women's empowerment and all kinds of things. And so I think generally people are still so allergic to sex that it triggers them. And that's a bummer, but it's changing. It is changing so fast now. And that's because, like less than 50% of Americans consider themselves religious anymore. They call themselves in the nun category we were talking about, and not
Mm.
NUN, NONE. We've gone from NUN to NONE, right? And all that religious repression is fading. And now we have, Grindr, and we have apps and poly, and everything's exploding. BDSM and kink, non-monogamy, monogamish. I mean, everything is just changing so quickly. It was slow for a long, I mean, because I've been doing this for decades. I used to mostly focus on how to get your wife to want to have sex with you again.
Right.
And I'm not a therapist, and I don't see people one-on-one. I'm a publisher of passionate lovemaking techniques. And I started really moving out of kind of like, how do you seduce a woman? How do you move a woman toward her pleasure? Because 2 decades ago, it was mostly men were horny and women were like, I don't want to have sex with you anymore, mostly because they were so shitty in bed and they never had an orgasm. But then I started realizing that people were ready for more sex techniques. So I started writing sex techniques and publishing sex techniques. And then I realized, oh, people don't just need sex techniques, they need communication skills. So I started writing bedroom communication techniques because I could teach you so many skills that you would never be able to use because you don't know how to communicate in the bedroom. And then I realized that people's parts weren't working. Like there was so much more ED, so much more performance anxiety, so much more stress, so much more loss of lubrication, menopause issues, etc. And people wanted to have sex, but they couldn't because their bodies wouldn't do it. So then I started working on sexual regenerative therapies.
How long have you been doing this?
173 years, young man. No. Young they, young them.
I'm all of it.
I know.
Um, what was
20
like
years.
20 years? Okay.
I'm 62 and having the best sex of my life, daddy man. So, yeah, it's been good lately. Woo!
Is
Going
it
crazy.
is it getting better with age, or it's just
Mm-hmm.
because you're doing certain things now that are making it better?
I think it's a combination. Number one, I would say I've expanded my orgasmic capacity in the last couple of decades considerably, so I can come from a lot of different ways. The human body has over 20 kinds of orgasms it can have, all bodies.
Yeah.
And so I've just been incrementing my orgasmic skills, and I've been expanding how much pleasure and sensation I can experience. That's one thing. The second thing would be that I have a lot of sexual skill because I teach sex skills. I gain them, and that keeps getting better and better. And anybody can do that too. So I would say my skills are better. And that leads to more confidence and satisfaction. My
Yeah.
communication skills are incredible. I have a lot of confidence, and I have this kind of ability now to have almost an unlimited access to whatever my appetite might be in any given date scenario whenever I'm with a partner or by myself. And so I just let my body tell me what she's thinking she wants. And that's really fun. That kind of makes me fun to fuck, because I like to say she's fun to fuck because it's, you never know what she's going to want. And so it's always like, ooh, what's she going to want to do today, you know?
Yeah.
And that's fun because it's always an amusing little surprise as to what will happen. You know, it's not ever the same twice. I have to show you. I know you don't do videos, so I'm just going to explain what I'm showing to your listeners, but I
Yeah.
literally just got this box of sex toys. I have to try all of these. So here's one of them, and this is like a penis stroker. I don't have a penis. I've got a big clit, but my clit's too small for this.
It looks like
But
a
this,
mouse.
I know, you stroke your cock with this thing. So I'm
Wow.
going to have my boyfriend or my husband or somebody with a penis try that, and I'm going to watch them.
That's
And then
exciting.
I know, this is an exciting one. This is a prostate tool called the Molto. And it looks like a stick shift for your butthole.
Yeah, it does.
It's a prostate massager.
It looks like it moves more than I have room for it to move.
No, I'm sure you have plenty of room, baby. This one is the Legato, and it is a vulva ring. It's supposed to. So, interesting thing about the clit is that the clit is like the tip, the shaft, like a little dick,
Mm.
and then it has these little wings, these little arms called crura, and then these little like punching bags that droop down, which are under the fur on each side of the vagina.
Mm.
They're under the labia, and those, so your labia has clit in it. Underneath the pubic hair on each side of the opening to a vulva are
Mm.
the clit bags, basically these big bags of tissue, erectile tissue. So the clit is one of three erectile tissue systems with something called the urethral sponge that people call a G spot, but it's not a spot, it's a big tube. And the perineal sponge, which looks like this funny little brain between the vaginal opening and the rectal opening. And so basically the vagina is surrounded by erectile tissue. And if you took all that tissue out of the woman's erectile tissue and you put it in your hand, and you took all of the erectile tissue in a penis, which is twice as big as what you see sticking out of the body, and you put it in your hand, they would fill up both hands. They're the same amount of tissue.
Okay.
So this labia vibrator is very interesting because nobody's playing with the clit bags, if you will. So I got to try that. That's a mystery vibe. Then this is a cock ring called the Tenuto Mini.
Yes. Oh, that's
And that's
nice.
interesting. They make one that's kind of a big one for guys with ED, which I really like, but they also now have this little one. Here is an interesting Lilo prostate massager that
That's
is
pretty.
remote control operated. I like my husband to stick the prostate massager up his butt and hand me the remote control.
Yeah.
I'm a little brat. And then I like him to give me a pussy rub.
Yeah.
And then when he's doing a really good job and giving me really good orgasms, I switch up the vibrations on the remote so he knows. It's like biofeedback. It's like, yes, I might be moaning, but you also get a little zhuzh up your ass. So
Yeah.
good. Doesn't that sound fun? This
Ooh.
one is the Lilo Enigma. And this is what I called them and said, send me this. This one is interesting because it basically stimulates inside your vagina, stimulates your G-spot, and sucks your clit at the same time.
Oh, there's like a
So
little
it,
vacuum? What?
it's gonna blow your mind.
There's a lot of
And
toys in this box.
this is what I'm saying. I am so you when you called me to do the show and I was like, "Can I eat a half a sandwich? I'm so damn hungry." And you're like, "Sure, baby, go ahead." It's like, no wonder I'm busy and I can't even eat sandwiches. I got things to stick in me all the time.
All
So
the
yeah, there's
time.
even more stuff in here. Oh, this one looks interesting to me. This one.
Oh, that one's
This is called the
pretty.
Lilo. It's a nice green Lilo Dot Cruise. And what I like about this is it's got like a pinpoint. There's a spot on the clitoral glands, which is like the tip of the penis, but it's
Yeah.
the tip of the clit. There's
Yeah.
a spot. It's like if the top was like 12 o'clock, it's like 2 o'clock off the left edge. For
Okay.
most women, 80 to 90% of women, it's off the left side when they're looking down toward their clit.
Yeah.
For me, it's on my right side. So right off the right side, I love a pinpoint vibrator right on that spot. And
Wow.
I can just come and come and come and come and come and come. It's crazy.
And
So anyway,
how would anybody even know that in order to like find it? That's insane.
well, they have to listen to Make Sex with Me by with Drew, and then they can find out to see these important sexual details.
I
I
mean, you
mean,
told
come
me,
on.
not that I'm somebody who would know much about vaginas, but you've
I
told me
know,
more than I've ever heard before in
I
like
know.
10 minutes about vaginas.
Yeah, I'm a vag expert. I'm a
I
dick
love it.
expert too.
I love that. Is there like a little pinpoint place anywhere on the male anatomy that I could be looking for?
Yeah, the prostate.
Oh, the prostate.
Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm.
Yeah, which is like, I mean, I've explored it some. I mean,
Mm,
I have anal sex, but like it's been a while. It's been a while.
mm,
It's hard to find
mm.
partners when I moved from New York. That's why I'm cool at all. And then I moved here to the Bible Belt, and it's hard to find sexual partners. Um, so yeah, it's been a while.
That aren't closeted married men, you mean?
Correct. Or, senators of South Carolina. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah. Or clergymen.
Right.
Um, well, are you on the apps?
I am on some apps. So what the apps look like when you live somewhere like this is they're like a lot of faceless, even nameless people. Even like they don't even have information, like nothing to know who they are.
Wild
Um,
card.
if somebody's really attractive, it's usually a good indication that it's like a bot or like a spammer, you know.
Hmm.
So it's been
How about gay
rough.
bars?
There's a couple. There's a couple. They allow people to smoke indoors here, so
Oh God.
sometimes I don't love that, but
Yeah.
um, and they're not cruisy. I mean, I'm used to cruisy gay bars
Yeah.
in New York. I mean, I'm used to going to like jockstrap night at the
Yeah.
Eagle. It's
Right.
not very
Fun.
cruisy here. It's very tame. Yeah.
Hmm.
So I'm in need of. I
Honey,
think I'm gonna move. I think I'm gonna move real soon.
it sounds like it. Where are you thinking about going?
Well, now I think I should move to San Diego.
It's gorgeous here. It's sunny and warm and beautiful, and people are beautiful, and they've got great bodies. And you could
Yeah.
fuck a bunch of surfers. Yum. They're so cute.
We have surfers here, but they're old men. They're all like, and
Mm,
that's okay too. I mean, I've been with old men. And old
hmm.
surfers are hot. But
Hmm.
yeah, I live in mostly like a retirement community. And I'm trying not to be a home wrecker.
Right.
Right.
I know. I know. It's difficult in rural areas generally. It's
Yeah.
just more difficult, especially in Bible Belt. You're in a tough spot. Well, hopefully it won't last forever and you'll be able to make up for lost time. What if you could have the perfect experience? What do you have in mind? Do you have any fantasy experience that you're really like hoping to have sometime?
You mean sexually?
Yes, this is what I'm talking. We're talking about sex here. It's called Make
Yeah.
Sex with Me, Drew.
Right. We have to keep making it sexy. This is the goal. Um, well, okay, so I always talk about the best sex I ever had being so much more about like the stuff that came before penetration.
Hmm.
So I'm looking for someone, and I feel like that was my question to you too, is like, how
Okay.
do you find partners who can like be aligned with you? I mean, especially you, because you know so much. How can you find partners that are as open to different things, open-minded about sexual experiences?
Mhm.
Because that's what I would need. I need someone who's like interested in tickling and sniffing
Mm.
and things that just aren't. I mean, when a guy says like, "What are we gonna do? Can I come over and we'll just fuck?" Like for
Mhm.
me, I need to be like,
Yeah.
persuaded a bit
Yeah.
more.
Seduced. You want to be
Yeah,
seduced and you want some sensuality. You want
exactly.
some little feather tickling and some neck kissing and some cock worship and
Yeah,
yeah, uh-huh. That's nice. I
I
like
want to
that.
feel special.
Yes. I want you to feel special. You are special.
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure. Well, I think the very first thing is to know that you're always training any partner, whether it's implicitly or explicitly. So you can just straight up tell them what you'd like to do. And one of the ways that I find that works well, instead of expecting them to guess, which they never frigging will, and that is making them a lot of offers. So one of the things that I do with my lovers is I'll say, okay, who has ideas? What do we have? What are we thinking? And we'll all just throw out a bunch of ideas. And then generally, because I'm the brat, literally bratting the brat, I get to pick, like you pretty much have to give a pussy what it wants. Dicks are just more flexible.
mm,
So a lot of times we'll just throw down ideas and then we'll pick the one that sounds most interesting. And I think making people a lot of offers really, really helps. And what I've found is that making offers gets easier and easier the more you do it, like anything. Just being like, well, I could throw out some ideas. Are you open to hearing some ideas? Maybe this we could riff off of my concepts. And they'll
yeah,
usually say yes, and they'll feel really happy that you came up with some ideas. And they would have never thought about tickling or worshiping you or whatever it is that you want, holding you and kissing you and brushing your hair. It looks like you've got your man bun going back there. So your crowning glory. So whatever it is that you might like to have, a little prostate discovery program,
yeah.
some nice deep kissing, whatever it is, some nipple clamps. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you want to run around in some super high stripper shoes and have me take pictures of you so you can pose.
Yes. Well, I would like to do a boudoir photo shoot. I'm trying to show you.
Yeah.
I have a set of nipple clamps, but I've decorated my desk lamp with them because I haven't used them as nipple clamps. Those were a gift from an old friend.
Nice.
But yeah, I would love to get into that. I find sometimes that I feel like I mean, I don't really go outside of my comfort zone sexually, and I haven't for a long time. But I mean, I do have toys, but they're all very vanilla. Like I have like
Hmm.
one dildo. I have two
Hmm.
dildos. One's glass. One's just I don't know, latex or whatever they make it out of,
Yeah.
silicone.
Silicone.
Yeah, I have nipple clamps that I've worn when I received them for about
Yeah.
5 minutes.
Hmm.
I used to have, I think, a vibrating anal stimulator, but I don't even know where that ended up. I think someone
Hmm.
stole it, like a roommate took it or something.
Got
Um,
stuck up his ass and he left.
yeah, he might have lost it, and gone to the ER to have it removed.
Every time he laughs, it goes, oh.
Exactly, and then I maybe I still have the remote control. Maybe I should. Maybe there's some kind
Exactly.
of a find my vibrator function on that.
Exactly. Or you can give him a little zhuzh,
A little
little
judge.
turbocharge.
But I wonder like how I can I mean you're kind of inspiring me to like maybe start using some of these toys. I
You
definitely would like
think?
to.
Do you
How
think? I mean, get those nipple clamps on, put on some high heels, lie down in your bed, and start playing with yourself. Jesus, Drew, are you serious? I have to. I have to come out like your mother. Now, Drew, that's what I want you to do. I want you to get that cute little ass out.
well and I also have a struggling OnlyFans. Like I've never I have all these ideas for like content and then it just never happens. It's just like
Hmm.
it's like an afterthought. I think that's
Hmm.
just but I am a very sexual person. It just hasn't been. a part of my life in like maybe the last 5 years.
Oof.
Yeah,
Well,
it's a long.
today is the day you get back on the horse and ride.
Do you find a lot of people in your area that are very sexual?
Yeah. I mean, my friends are like professional dominatrix and shit. My friends are sexperts and uh, poly people and gay people, and that's who I like to hang out with. As a matter of fact, I saw one of my friends recently, and he said, "Yeah, man, I've been on a roll lately. For the last 3 weeks, I fucked a different guy every day." And in one way, I love that for him. In another way, I'm like, "Oof, that's a big viral load you're taking in."
Yeah,
And I don't mean the semen. I just mean like, you know,
different
one
people's bacteria.
viruses
Yeah.
and all kind, like mycoplasma genitalia and gonorrhea and Gardnerella and syphilis and trichomoniasis. And I mean, there's a lot of STIs that get passed around. I don't know. I don't think you know this about me, but I'm the chief advocacy officer of a company called Basis Diagnostics. They're in the Bay Area, so they're a Silicon Valley funded state of the art STI testing facility. And STI testing has come a long way. And COVID actually really helped with that, because now people are more, like everybody's got kind of COVID tests in their house.
Yeah.
And their notion is, there's more and more STIs going everywhere. All the numbers are up 20-25%. So all these stories about people not having sex, you young kids aren't having sex anymore. Somebody is, and they're having protective sex, and they're having a lot of it.
Hmm.
And I just really want people to get tested. And now there are these at-home testing kits. So you go online and you get a test. They ship it to your house. You do just a couple of finger pricks, and sometimes you need like a swab sample, depending on what tests you're getting. And I like a comprehensive testing panel, like test for everything. I want to know Hep A, Hep B, Hep C. I want to know everything.
Yeah.
And then you just send it to them, and within 48 hours, you get your results. You don't have to go get a blood draw anymore. You don't have to go anywhere. It's just to your house, and you send it in.
What are you sending in,
And
like saliva or the swab or
yeah, you send a
blood?
swab. Sometimes it can be a swab of the penis. Sometimes it could be urine, but
Right.
sometimes it's just a little finger prick, and then you put the blood on the paper, and that's what they use.
Cool.
And so, for your listeners who actually are like, I really would like to get that test, the link is fullpaneltest.com.
Hmm.
But it's what I think is really important about it is that if you're going to fuck around, it's like a condom isn't going to do a lot. A lot of stuff is skin to skin contact, skin to skin transfer. So when he's having sex with a different guy every day, 21 different guys in 3 weeks, I just worry about that. And, the gay community is very, prep oriented, right? So they're used to taking things, and now they have, what's the new one called, where it's like the it's like the day after antibiotic if you had sex, and what's it called? Not prep, it's called but it's like
It's
that. It's
it's not doxy prep.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that what you just said, doxyprep? Yeah. I think that's what it is. It has like a shorter name than that, but then you're taking antibiotics, and then you're ruining your gut microbiome,
Right.
and then you got to rebuild your gut microbiome just because you didn't have some STI testing. So I love the idea of being able to have a lot of partners. I hate the idea of getting a long term, like even HSV, herpes virus. That is now tied to dementia and trigeminal neuralgia, which they call the most painful thing that could ever happen to your body.
Ugh.
I mean, the long-term downstream effects of these things are sobering.
Yeah.
So I like to have a polycule. And in that polycule, everyone who's in it has been tested and they don't have sex with people outside the polycule. And if they happened to go have sex with someone who's not in the polycule, they have to get tested to get back into the polycule. That's called, in the old days, we called that a fluid bonded screening group.
Okay.
And I actually think that's really good. If you could find like, two, three, four different partners who were all happy to be with each other, and you'd get a lot of variety, you'd get a lot of fun ideas, and everyone was safe. And so you could get both your need for variety and multiple partners met, but in a safe container that's going to protect everyone. That's really my favorite orientation.
Yeah. That sounds lovely. I
I
would.
know. And I like kitchen table polycules. I like we have birthdays together, our kids know each other, it's family. You're together. I like that. That's what works for me. I'm not one of those people who's like, I'll just be a swinger, or I'll just have a don't ask, don't tell. I think that's just where you get into trouble in the long term with picking up things that could have long term detrimental effects.
Yeah. It seems like you're someone who's like designed a life where you don't have to compartmentalize each thing. Like you don't have to keep work separate from sex, separate from family, separate from just all these things. And I think I want to be that person. And I think when I
Hmm.
lived in a major city, I was more that person. But
Yeah.
it's becoming harder and harder for me to exist in the kind of place that I'm in without being able to do that, to
Yeah.
compartmentalize. How do you think we can fix my life? fix other people's fix other people's lives. I mean, cuz like there must
Yeah.
be so many couples around here having sex that's just not enjoyable, and they're married and they don't have sex with anybody else that they're not married to, or sex
I
isn't
think
even
thruples
pleasurable.
thruples are my favorite combination. I've had over 500, well over 500 threesomes. And I've had them mostly with a handful of people over decades,
Yeah.
because of the fluid bonded, the poly, STI protection. Um, and I just think that's really nice. And you develop them over time. I think that having having the kind of experience where you have different lovers who are with you for a while and come in and out of your life over time, where you've got, two boyfriends right now, and 3 weeks from now or 3 months from now you might have three boyfriends, and then one of them has to go do something and they're busy, or they fall in love, or they want something different, or they don't want to be confined, or whatever. And then someone else comes in. And I think just kind of like thinking about your sex life like a stew pot, where you have a lot of ingredients, and you're testing and you're tasting and you're seeing how you do, and you're cooking it nice and low and slow. And it's a medley, a blend of the people who are in it that make it taste so good. I think that's a nice way to think about things. More and more people are very comfortable with the notion of having a polycule. I like that word. And somebody will
I
get
like it.
polysaturated and they'll have to opt out for a while.
Do you find with having multiple partners that there's ever like issues with people having jealousy, or like emotions become, they interfere with the fun in any way in your experience?
Yes, but usually that only happens when someone feels excluded. I think if someone feels excluded, then the jealousy occurs. And so, um, when someone feels left out, the people who are super close, that are kind of making, not making, but, creating an experience for the person who feels left out, they really need to pay attention to that. They
Yeah.
really need to take that person into their heart and pull them back into things. That's the same with threesomes. When you're doing threesome or foursome or whatever you're doing, somewhere during that threesome, somebody might feel just a little left out or like unsure or a little unsteady or something. And one of my best recommended pieces of advice for group sex is everybody owns everybody's inclusion, but they can't know when you feel left out. So you have to say, hey guys, I feel left out. And everybody's going to be like, come here, baby, come here. And when someone does that, it empowers other people to do it when it happens to them too, because it just does, it
Yeah.
just does sometimes, two people or three people will get going on something and the other one will feel a little left out. And
Right.
so it's kind of an own your own safety kind of a thing. We rely on you to tell us when you need something.
Yeah.
That's the honesty that is required in this, in this scenario.
Yeah. How does somebody get really good at communication about sex? They just you have to just do it more, or is there like do you have like tips and tricks for how people could learn to communicate better with partners and everything?
Oh God, I got tips, I got tricks, I got them all. Probably the number one thing that I teach, if you think about communication skills, sexual communication skills, there's really a couple of things. One is the first one is you've got to have your shit together in the outside the bedroom, if you will. And that means understanding what it is that your lover wants in their relationship with you and them, and being clear with them about what you want so that they
Mm-hmm.
can give it to you, because they can't read your mind. And I think that's very important. And then the second thing is to understand that in the bedroom, you're a different person every day. How much crap you've eaten, how much sleep you've gotten, how much stress you're under, uh, where you are in your, circadian rhythms. I mean, all this stuff makes a difference. And that it's always going to be different every time you're with a partner, so you need to know what they want and how they feel. Sometimes they want to be held and adored and worshipped, and other times they want to be restrained and slapped and spanked. And
Mm-hmm.
so it's the check-in. Where are you? What are you in the mood for? How's your energy level? Do you have any dirty fantasies you want to try? What's going on with you? What do you need? What do you have? What do you need? Throwing all that stuff out right at the beginning really, really helps. And then knowing that you need to listen to your body, that's very, very important. Sex is a sensual experience.
Yeah.
That means you use your senses. And one of your senses, in addition to, looking at your lover, smelling and tasting your lover, listening to their moans, touching their skin, sliding your bodies together, these are all wonderful. But there's also the proprioception. Where is your body in space? You're not whacking them in the head or whatever. And then there's interoception. And interoception is the scanning of yourself to feel how your body feels.
Mm.
Like, I can feel that big sandwich I just ate in my stomach. I was so hungry.
It
And
was
so
the
when
most
you
beautiful
feel,
sandwich ever.
God, it was so good. It was
Yeah.
mortadella with pistachios and Havarti cheese with
Oh my
an
God.
aioli mayonnaise and some Dijon mustard with this big, gorgeous slab of yellow tomato on
Mm.
gluten-free toasted bread.
It's like food porn.
Yum, right? That was good. So I think the being able to listen to your body and speak on their behalf, using your lips on your face to flap for the other lips on your body, because the tip of your penis is like a little pair of lips too.
Yeah, it
It looks
is.
like a little pair, it looks like a little parrot lips. You've got lips down there too, and they can't talk for themselves, so you got to say what you need.
Right. I love that.
And then thanking your lover for saying it is the last piece of it. I just want to throw that out there, which is when your lover says, can you go deeper? Can you go harder? Can you go softer? Can you slow down? Can you take a break? Whatever it is. And you say, sure, baby. Yeah, honey. Yeah, how's this? Does this feel better? Lighter still. When you acknowledge them and they feel heard, ah, it encourages them to tell you more. And the more they tell you, the better lover you can be for them, which is what you want to do.
Right. I love that. I
Hmm.
just feel so bad for people who are maybe like committed in a relationship where the one partner has no interest in discovering more sexually, and it's so important. And I think especially in society we kind of back burner sex. Like it's not the most important thing. Um, and if you care about sex too much, they think you're being shallow for some reason. But I think it's
Hmm.
just such a I mean, I personally think it's an energetic experience. It's an experience about, being alive, but for some reason, I don't know why people put it in the on a high shelf.
Patriarchal religiosity.
It's a good
That's the answer.
That's a good answer.
You're a recovering Catholic.
Oh
You
God.
friggin' know.
Yeah.
Because of shame.
Yeah.
And I can't fix the world. So, what I do is I help the people who are the sexual seekers, who are listening to your show, who are like, I want more. I fucking want it. I'm
Yeah.
hungry for it. I stand for my sexuality. I am nurturing my sexuality. I'm living into it. I'm incrementing my knowledge. I'm adding to my skills. I'm becoming a better communicator. I'm taking care of my body. I'm keeping my partner safe from getting STIs. I'm conscious and committed to my sexuality, to my personal growth, my sexual growth, to my sexual empowerment, to all of those things that fuel me. My passion fuels all of my passions, and I stand for it and my sovereignty. No one can shame me or tell me that that is wrong when I know damn well that the pleasure of my sexuality creates a neurotransmitter cascade, generates oxytocin, which bonds me to people. It reboots my nervous system. It helps me increase my testosterone, which improves my self confidence. It gives me massive blood flow to my brain when I get turned on and in pleasure. It keeps my prostate in good working order. It keeps my skin looking nice. It does so many things for me that are healthy, and it makes me happy and calm and less stressed and satisfied and proud of myself. And I want all of those things in my life because if I'm at a fork in the road where I can have it or not, I want to have great sex till the day I die because I will look better, live longer, and be happier than if I take that other fork in the road and give up my sex life. I'm fighting for it.
Mm, that's wonderful. This is
Hallelujah!
this is literally like going to church, but for my genitals.
Exactly. It's the Church of Dick.
The Church of Deck,
I
which
love the Church of Dick.
I've been a patron of that church for a long time.
Oh
Um,
yeah, what is that? Our Sisters of Perpetual?
oh, in
The
San
hell is?
Francisco,
Yeah, what is it called? Our Sisters of Perpetual.
Perpetual. Oh, I know what you're talking about, but I can never remember.
I went to. They own a fantastic facility up in Sonoma, and I had a threesome with my husband and my boyfriend. It's like this hacienda,
Hmm.
and I had this. It had like a chapel in it. It was kind of like this, Spanish Revival Californianos kind of hacienda with this chapel in it. The chapel had a wooden pulpit, like old school shit.
Hmm.
And my husband and I and my boyfriend at the time, we had a threesome in the pulpit while I was wearing a bridal outfit. And down below us in on the floor of the church there were mattresses all over and everybody was having sex down there
Wow.
and they were watching us have sex. Like, I'm bent over the pulpit, my veil is hanging down, my titties are popped out, and I'm getting railed from behind, and everybody down on the floor is like, fuck yeah, get it, girl. I mean, it was just so fun.
Oh
I
my
love that.
gosh.
I know.
That's like an orgy of Caligula proportions.
Yeah, exactly. I know. Isn't that so cute?
That is really cute.
I know.
I love that. I'm trying to think. I've been in orgy situations before,
Mhm.
and I've always just been too scared. I've been like, okay, this is an orgy. I'm gonna leave. And I've always wanted, but I've never.
Oh, well, it's time. Our Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence.
That's right. That sounds right. Do they have
um,
orgies? Is that part of their
are
drag
you
sister
shitting me? Do
religion?
they have orgies? Of course they do. Of course they do, baby. The best ones. Well, it's time for you to go to some sex parties. And the way to do that is to go and volunteer to be on the crew.
Okay.
And then you'll make friends. You could be a greeter, you could do food service, you could wash dishes, you could help with ritual, you could help with strike, setup, strike. My favorite thing, I shouldn't admit this because some bitch is going to try to take my job, but the job I like is flower arranger. I go and buy all the flowers and bring all my vases, and then I arrange all the flowers for the altars and the tables and everything. And I'm just like, that's my coveted job.
That's
That's my
adorable.
favorite. And then I like to be a greeter because I love to hug everybody when they come in and make them feel so good they were there and just like be like the little dog that's like, I am so happy that you are here. Yay. Because it's stressful to walk into an orgy, for Christ's sakes.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
I'm overstimulated. I have ADHD and I'm empathic, so I feel like being around what I like about podcasting is most of the time it's one-on-one interaction and I'm good at
Yeah.
that. Um,
Yeah.
I'm good at other things too, but the more energies I get into the room, I can find it overwhelming. So,
Yeah. You need a
um,
job.
I need to be a flower arranger.
Yeah. Or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. You need to be some part of the team. Then you have purpose and then you don't
Yeah.
feel like you're flapping in the wind because you got a job.
Maybe they'll let me mop up afterwards.
Oh, yes, they will.
Someone's got to do that.
Yeah,
Interesting. I wonder if there are such things as that in cities nearby me.
there are.
Yeah. Where do you find sex parties, sex events? Like, is there some kind of website? Like,
Google, you'll find them. Just start
oh,
looking for
okay.
things. Just start Googling it and talk to people.
Yeah. I knew of at least like a handful of them in New York. They just you would just hear from your friends that went to
Yeah,
them.
they're everywhere.
And the one I used to go to was like it was like a naked yoga group for queer
That's cute.
men. It was really
I love
cute.
that.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And then it would be orgy. It would be dinner and then sometimes after dinner orgy. But I
Yeah.
usually was there teaching the yoga and then after dinner I'd say, "Okay, bye." And then I would leave.
Oh.
Um but it was almost like, and this is the funniest part of it is I always joke that I would have partook in the orgy, but I felt as though like I wasn't invited. Like I felt like someone was just going to reach
Hmm.
out and grab my hand and be like, "Come into the orgy." But then my
Hmm.
friend was like, "No, you just have to go into the orgy.
You
Like
have to go into the orgy.
you
That's
just
right.
have to grab a dick and start sucking."
Yay! I'll take two.
Right. But I was like, what if they don't want me to suck it? Like what if it's like, I don't
You make
know.
them offers. You have to make offers.
Yeah, you talk it out.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. So I would say, would you like me to grab your balls?
No, you'd say, "Hi, my name is Drew. I find you very attractive. I'd love to get to know you. Do you want to sit and hang out for a while or go get a drink? Or would you like to have a make out? Or is there anybody here you want to play with? Because I'm new and, I'm kind of up for lots of stuff. So, what did you have anything in mind? Or what's going on with you?"
Yeah. We're gonna have to work on my confidence. This is, I think, what we're finding.
Practice makes perfect. You just have to friggin' get a hold of your balls
Hmm.
and do it
Yeah.
until it becomes easier.
Yeah. So it feels risky initially, and then later on, it just becomes like practice.
It's like nothing.
Yeah.
Easy peasy. And I'll tell you something, I make a lot of offers. I've learned how to just make people offers, and most people say no. And that has nothing to do with me. Nothing. No, because I've got herpes right now. I promised I was going to do something with someone else. I don't like guys with man buns. Whatever the fuck. It doesn't matter.
Right, right.
Doesn't matter. You've
Yeah.
got to make a lot of offers.
Oh, I love that. Well, that's just good advice for life, no matter
It
what
is.
we're talking
It
about.
is. Yeah.
One of the funny things that I'm encountering now, because I do think there's someone interested in me whom I'm also interested in. He's like way younger than me. Like I'm almost 38. He's like 20. And I'm
Hmm.
like and I don't know. I guess I wouldn't feel bad about that if I were in New York, but here I feel like, oh my God, am I like having, is this a child? Like what's happening? And then
20? No.
the other alternative is men who are like 65 and older, which I'm
Yeah.
also interested in, but
Yeah.
then I'm the baby.
Who cares what age someone is? Love is love. The heart wants what the heart wants.
Yeah.
It's not the age, it's the person, the personality, the energy they give off, the vibe, the joy of the experience of being with them. So I think you should put the 65 and the 20 in your polycule and all get tested and have some threesomes. That's what I think.
That sounds like a lot of fun. I'm like blushing. We've already got blood moving to my brain here.
Good.
Yeah. I think what was I gonna, you said something and it made me think of something. I think I've lost it. Things go in and out so quick these days in the brain. Ever since COVID, I think I have brain damage. But
You probably do. It did a lot of endothelial damage into the meningeal tissue of the brain,
hmm.
which means that your body is still repairing that damage.
But
So the best thing you can do,
it's repairable though.
yeah, hyperbaric oxygen, high intensity interval training,
Hmm.
headstands. These are three really good things you can do, or handstands. Up against the wall. Your upside
Yeah.
downies. And then eat a lot of leafy greens and beetroot.
Okay. Well, I'm doing some of
Yeah,
those already, so that's good.
good.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
then
all that'll
sex.
help. Lots of orgasms,
Lots of orgasms.
as many as possible.
Yeah. It's one of the saddest things about not having had sexual relations in so long is that I used to feel that I was multi-orgasmic, and now that I
Hmm.
masturbate predominantly now, it's almost
Hmm.
like you masturbate and you're done and then you move on with something else. And
Hmm.
I haven't been able to have as much fun with that as I used to.
Oh, get yourself some toys and get some stuff up your ass again. Also, try some of those sleeves. Those stroker sleeves are really nice. And then also do a lot of edging and do your breath work with the
Yeah.
edging and try to become a multi orgasmic man. I'll give you my multi orgasmic lover for men program. It teaches something called the me breath, which
Hmm.
is essentially a PC muscle squeeze with a pelvic rock and a breath, a draw. And when you do those things together, it helps you kind of separate ejaculation and orgasm so that you can have full body energy orgasms as much as you want, and then you can ejaculate if you want to.
Right.
And for those of you listening to the show who are like, what the hell is that? I want to do that. The best place to go to learn more about what it is and how it works is the stallionsecret.com. Stallionsecret.com. There's
Hmm.
a video there where Jim Benson, my men's tantra trainer partner, and we talk about the me breath, how it works, what you do, etc. There's also another thing we recorded where I interviewed him all about male multiple orgasm, and that's at freedomaudios.com.
Hmm.
So those are two nice kind of on ramps to learn more about becoming a multi orgasmic man, because it's very nice when you can come and come and come and come without ejaculating, because you've got a refractory period that takes a little time for a rebound. Your
Right.
20-year-old probably doesn't, but you do.
Uh-oh.
Hmm.
So where can people find you? Because I think people need you. You're like a sex angel.
I need people. You can find me on Instagram, Susan Bratton, SUSANBRATTON, Susan Bratton. You can get on my sex tips newsletter at betterlover.com.
Hmm.
And those are good places to find me. And you can slide into my DMs and ask me questions, but it's easier if you're on my newsletter and you reply to any email I send you. I get all the replies personally and I will answer you. So if you have a question about anything that you heard or anything that's going on with you, I'm always happy to give advice. It's my joy because it makes me good at what I do.
Yeah. I feel like, I mean, does a person go to school to do what you do? Did you just learn through not just like your desire for knowledge and, school of sex in the world? Like, how did we become Susan Bratton?
Well, a lot of sexologists and therapists do go to school and get credentialed, but they are people who work in a therapeutic and clinical setting with directly one on one with people.
Hmm.
I'm different in that I have a publishing company and I publish sex skills, sex tips, passionate love making techniques. And I learned it, first of all, by going to workshops and having a lot of mentors and publishing the work of other people in my publishing company, and then having a lot of experiences of my own and reading every sex book ever written. And I just have an infinite curiosity about pleasure, orgasm. My area of expertise is orgasm techniques. And most people who are in the sex business are fixing problems. They're dealing with trauma, or issues. I'm not doing that. What I'm doing is helping people have hot sex. So that's what my interest was. And I didn't necessarily want to do kind of like one-on-one work. I like to do podcasts, speak from the stage. Those are good places for me, with a wider audience because I'm like an encyclopedia of hot sex. So that just fit my personality better. So I've had a lot of lovers over the years, safe sex, STI tested always first, and just done a lot of things, been to a lot of things, went to a lot of parties, have a lot of poly friends, gay friends. It's just, it seeps in everywhere.
I love that.
Thank you.
What was my other question? Oh, I'm like thinking of things as you're speaking, and then
Yeah,
I hear more things and more things. It's just
I
wonderful.
know.
But you've inspired me a lot just in the
Good.
short amount of time we've been talking, and
Super.
I have some work to do, some me work to do. I'm
Good.
gonna at least dust the cobwebs off the dildo. That'll be a start.
Excellent.
Yeah.
That sounds super good. And get 20 and 65 together and go out for dinner.
Okay. There's actually not a 65, but there's many that I could get one easily.
Okay, good. Great.
Yeah, but we'll start with
And
20.
if they have any dick problems, send them to a Gainswave doctor and get them a penis pump because they might be having issues with firmness, and those can be reversed using these regenerative therapies.
What is Gainswave?
It's an acoustic wave technology that is administered to the penis and into the
Mm,
buried shaft of the penis. Because your penis is twice as big. What you see sticking out goes inside.
right.
And that acoustic wave does gentle stimulation of the tissue that helps grow new tissue, new blood supply, and new nerve sensation. So that you're basically regenerating the tissue. So you're reversing the clock on aging, you're reversing the atrophy and getting blood carrying capacity back to the penis. So Gainswave is the place to go.
So probably most of what causes erectile dysfunction is like just
Vascular retraction.
it's not up here in the brain. It's like actual physical
Mechanical.
stuff.
Yeah,
Well, that's good
mechanical.
news.
Yeah, it's fixable.
Yay.
Yeah, so if daddy's a little, wiggly,
Yeah.
you can fix it.
Do women have some form of vaginal dysfunction?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
vulval and vaginal atrophy gains weight for her.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, same thing. We're just innies and you're outies.
Right.
Yeah, all fixable.
I love that.
I know. So you can fuck for years and years and years. You got years of good fucking ahead of you.
That's really good news. I'm
It
gonna
is. You
tell
better get on it.
I'm gonna tell my 70-year-old parents that too.
Good.
Well, thank you so much, Susan. It's been
My
such a
pleasure.
delight.
It has been. I really enjoyed my time today. Thank you for having me.
You're so
And
welcome.
keep in touch. Let me know how you do. All right, sweetie.
Bye.
Bye.
A million times thank you, Susan. That was amazing. I am so happy that we had you on the show. Um, Again, you guys, some more business. Please rate, review, subscribe. Please give us 5 stars. Please write in to make sex with me podcast at gmail.com. And just so you guys know where you can get a hold of Miss Susan Bratton, you can find The Susan Bratton Show and join her newsletter at betterlover.com. Follow her personal shares on Instagram, Threads, and OnlyFans at Susan Bratton. And her name is SusanBratton. And check out her supplements, Flow and The Desire, at the20store.com. That's THE20STORE.com. Anyway, you guys, I hope that this was very educational and very inspirational. I know it was for me. I learned a lot about clitoral hoods, and I learned a little bit about penises too. Look at me. I'm a sexpert almost. Not nearly as much of a sexpert as Miss Susan, but I am definitely gonna search my underwear drawer for my dildos, and I am definitely going to look into maybe some sex parties. This is a big step for me, but I think I can do it. So anyway, guys, I hope that you are also being adventurous if that's what you would like to be. And I hope that you are filling your holes with whatever you want to put inside those holes. Bye-bye!